pilot for it's our second year now, and I have never seen a panel so well attended. So thank you everyone for coming out. It is indeed going to be but with that being said, I know the show is crazy popular because it's extra awesome. But there's quite a lot of kids in the audience, so if you notice that a smaller person standing behind you, just be aware of that. And don't move back too fast, and in fact, maybe let them come in front of you so they can see. That would be absolutely fantastic. Right, so everybody keep cool as well. The bar is open. You can get water for free or drinks for money. And yeah, have a great panel.
So I guess first off, I just want to say that Penn is on his way. He was finishing up his Choose Your Own Adventure CD, which 100 of you will be able to purchase from him at some point.
Did he finish it?
He finished it.
Oh, awesome.
So it's going to be cool. He's on his way. So when he gets here, we'll just have him come down the center and kind of pick up from there. But my name is Phil. I worked on Adventure Time for the first 2 seasons. Thank you. I don't currently work on Adventure Time anymore, but I'm still a huge fan and absolutely love the show and love Penn. So when I thought, when we decided to come up here, I was like, we got to do this panel and make sure that TCAF gets to meet Penn. So he'll be here soon. So I'm going to introduce our panel. So this is Steve Wolfhard. You can find him at the Koyama Press table and Koyama Publishing, and he does Cat Rackham, which is fantastic. Maybe we'll talk a little more about that. This is Andy Ristaino. He's a character designer, lead character designer on the And then next is Michael DeForge, also at the Koyama Press table. And at the end is Bob Flynn, who does some characters for us on Adventure Time, and he's over at with the guys from DBGB Comics and Double Fine is where you're sitting. So go find Bob. So I guess really, what made us really want to have this panel and talk about Adventure Time a little bit is that the group of people who work on Adventure Time, I think that pretty much everyone wears 2 hats. We all kind of do our own comics, and we also work in animation. And the team that Penn brought together is one that we really get to do that. And there's a lot of this kind of crossbreeding between animation and cartooning. So I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about that. I guess I'm gonna start with you, Steve, because you're sitting right next to me, and you've got a good story. But I know Penn met you at a convention.
Yes, Penn and I met at a comic convention in SVX, and yeah, I guess there's
I think he yelled at you.
Oh, he terrified me. Well, the first time I saw him this last year, he just kind of like jumped into my arms like a baby. I just held him in the lobby on the first day. On the second day, he's just yelling at me. It was just his arm was around my neck. It was about an inch from my face, and just yelling at me to work on the show. And I'm nervous. I sweat, and I was just sweating so much, and just whimpering. And he also, I think he threatened to punch me in the nose. He point to me in the nose and tell me that the finger was going to turn into a fist. And but yeah, and so eventually I was able to work for the show. I succumbed and yeah, work freelance now.
So you're here in Toronto.
I live here in Toronto.
And you have done some animation work before.
Yeah, I went to animation school is where I got my start, and I worked in like sort of Canadian television for a while out in Vancouver. Kids shows like Being Ian and Kid vs. Cat, stuff like YTV stuff. And yeah, I've taken a break. I've been working in animation for a couple of years. I've been just doing comics and illustration, and yeah, so it's comfortable. It's really comfortable for me to work in animation, but yeah, it's been a while.
There's an episode coming up with Lumpy Space Princess,
yes,
and she gets to run with the wolves.
Yeah.
And I think I've seen some of your drawings from that. That's season 3?
Season 3, it's called The Monster. And
Season 3, it's called The Monster. It's going to be awesome.
So that will go to Andy now.
Yeah.
So Andy started working on the show, or second season.
Yes.
You also are an animation guy, but have
Yeah.
done comics, and sort of how did you get onto Adventure Time?
So basically, a friend of mine, kind of pen pal I had through comics, Tom Herpick, who actually Phil went to school with. I heard that he got a job on Adventure Time, and I had seen the pilot, and it's been a while since there's been a cartoon out that I wanted to work on. And the last cartoon, I knew the guy who created it, and I did a storyboard for it, but I totally screwed it up. And I regretted that.
You should say the name of that.
It was Invader Zim. I'm published to the same publisher as Jonan, and I know I'm name dropping. And
I forced you to do it.
yeah, you did. I was trying to avoid that. But yeah, so that was like 10 years ago, and when I saw the pilot for Adventure Time, I was like, this animation is like amazing. Like, if they make this into a show, I need to get a job on it. So they made it into a show, and my friend Tom posted on his blog that he was doing designs for the show, and I was like, oh! I emailed him immediately, and whenever there was an opening, he would send me a test. So I did a storyboard test, and I failed that also. And, but I did the storyboard before the show came out, so it wasn't quite like, because from the pilot to the show changed a bit, and I just didn't get the feel of it right. And then the show came out, and there was an opening. Tom was doing designs, but he moved on to doing storyboards. So he told me to try out for his old job, and I spent a day doing the test, and I really cranked it out and tried to make it as crazy as possible, and did way too many drawings for it. And yeah, I had a mutual friend of me and Phil's talk to Phil, and that might have hurt my chances, but I guess my test was good. So that's how I got the job.
That's pretty good. And Michael, I guess, I don't know if you know this, but I'll tell you this. I guess someone on the crew had picked up Lose One, which you guys know.
It's
Andy,
my fault.
Andy picked up Lose
You're
One
working on the show.
and kind of showed it around to all the people on the show, and we were huge fans of your work, and basically we just said, we need to get you on there. And I think even before us showing your work to Penn, we were like formulating ways to get you involved and just get you on board. So why don't you talk about a little bit about what you're doing and kind of your...
Well, yeah, I didn't have any experience in animation, or like I was a fan of the show, but like I hadn't actually ever thought about working in animation just because I was an illustrator and a cartoonist, and I didn't go to art school and I was not qualified to do anything, and I'm still maybe not qualified to do anything. But yeah, then I think first Tom emailed me, and then he was like, hey, would you ever audition? And I said, sure, would I have to move to LA? And he said yes, and I said, well, I can't audition. And then you asked me about it, and then I said, sure, I'll audition. I did the audition, and then it was still like I couldn't move to LA. And then when you left the show was when, I guess, I was
Kind of desperation.
the bottom of the barrel. I was scooped up. Yeah.
Well, it was like Penn was just like, I want Michael DeForge to work on the show, so Penn kind of put his foot down on that one.
Good.
Very
Penn, are you
happy.
here yet? Oh, there he is. Let me check my text.
He's lost.
And then Bob, similar story, I guess. You know,
Yeah,
where
similar to Michael, I guess, where like you would approach me. Is this thing on? Yeah, like you would approach me like to see if like I would try out to do some character design or prompt work, and so like I'm from Massachusetts, and like I wasn't ready to kind of go to LA either, but I did like I did like the first round of tests, and you know it was really fun to draw, and like in the style of the show. Like I'd been a fan of the show and a fan of the pilot, and like on the whole, like I'm a cartoonist, kind of have picked up animation, but I'm not trained in it specifically. But it's been something that like I've always been interested in cartoons, and I guess like similar to you, Andy, like this show is like such a standout show.
Yeah.
And I put it like right up there with like SpongeBob and Rynda Stimpy. It's kind of like shows that come along like once a decade, basically. And so I mean I've done a couple drawings for the show, and it's been fun. And I guess like I think it's cool to be part of it in a small way. But
it's it's a great crew to be working on, and it's awesome that we have people from across the country, and international. We're an international crew now.
Yeah.
Which our producers don't love because it makes paperwork a lot harder, but we love it because we get to work with people who were fans of their work. And just so you guys know, Frederator has a blog, and they actually post lots of our production work and kind of links to us as individuals, which in animation is really unheard of. It's a team effort, and the product is this end kind of polished thing. But Frederator is awesome with you guys get to see our process, and you get to see things. I mean, I know Steve's drawing. I found one of Steve's drawings on the web well before legally it should have been on there because Frederator had put it up. And at that point, I think I wrote you.
Yeah. I wasn't sure if it was something I accidentally emailed someone and slipped out.
Yeah, you get sued because someone else.
Yeah, I was thinking exactly. I was thinking I was going to get a letter. So,
take that down.
Yeah, arrested. Yeah, quickly.
I guess I also want to mention just a couple of the other cartoonists that are on the show because I think it is again so important. But in design, we have Natasha Allegri. She was at the time. She's in story now. But she's awesome. She has a Tumblr page, Pancake. She's fantastic. Penn met her. I think she was in high school, and Penn was doing, journal comics online, and so was Natasha. And they just started writing. And when the show came up, they had been friends online. They knew each other's work, and Penn, just made her test. And we're, I don't know. The testing process is interesting. You guys probably don't know much about it. Who wants to describe the testing process? Andy, since you're drinking.
Basically, every section of the show gets a different design, different test. So the design test was 3 pages, and you had to draw these characters. You had to draw a plant scavenger and a junk trash scavenger, and then you had to do a turnaround of Flynn in the Jake suit from this weird drawing that Penn had drawn. It's really weird and loose, and they want you to do a turnaround of how loose it is.
Woo! Good board.